I know you like that.
Boy Wonder.
Hey, y'all, welcome to Cross Politics. Make sure you share the show right now.
Share it.
Oh, let me
Hit
do
the
that.
share button.
I'm going to do that, too.
You do it.
Here we
And,
go.
of course, if you guys don't know, we're actually streaming live on our app, too.
It's live on
That's
Facebook.
important, right?
It's live on. Is it live on Twitter?
It's live on, I think it's live on Twitter.
it live on YouTube?
Facebook, Twitter, and our app.
The app, which you can
and
download.
also, David and Toby don't even know this, but we're also on the Edified network now, too.
Oh, we are.
What's that?
Hey, did we approve this? Hey, what are you wearing?
Well, you obviously got the memo. What's wrong with Gabe?
Well, I'm firing my costume
I
designer.
got my cowboy shirt on right now. You know what I'm saying?
Where'd you, how come you get a costume designer?
Well, you know. My
Of course,
wardrobe designer.
You guys, make sure you join our club. We started a magazine subscription, which
Really?
will
No, we started
actually
a magazine.
launches January 1st. We started a magazine, and you can subscribe to it. And my favorite thing about this is like you can like subscribe for your pastor. You know, send one to your pastor or an elder that you've been kind of talking with.
You've been giggling about this since you started. Gabe.
Don't cause division. Don't bring us into your division. But send a magazine subscription too.
You're kind of tempting them to.
Probably a little bit and everything.
Gabe,
Make sure you download the app so you can live stream us.
Hey, question.
Yeah.
Did they change the share button on Facebook? Facebook is doing all kinds of changes right
they're
now.
always
They're making
So I
changes.
can't.
all
Where do you
kinds of
share it?
stuff.
Yep.
It's in there. Just
Okay, let me try again.
It's
All right.
there.
Hey, keep going.
Hey, I was going to tell you guys about Cameron and Rana's son who fractured his wrist playing Batman. Hospital bills started to arrive in the mail.
Yeah.
But they weren't concerned about the financial impact because Samaritan Ministries connected them with the members who came alongside them in prayer and encouragement and financial support for their medical need.
What I'm talking about.
Samaritan Ministries is not insurance, and members aren't restricted to seeking a particular provider within a network. This freedom gives them the opportunity to choose the doctor, hospital, and pharmacy that works best for them and their family whenever medical care is needed. They're not bound by open enrollment, which means you can join today. Monthly cost ranges from $100 for an individual to $555 for a family. And Samaritan members are exempt from the Federal Affordable Care Act. You can learn more about how healthcare sharing works and see Cameron's full story at SamaritanMinistries.org/crosspolitic. Guys, the other thing that I'm really excited about is Tom Price's new class.
Oh,
Tom
yes.
Price is the next guy up for Fight, Laugh, Feast University.
Yeah.
FLFU.
Look what I designed for this. I designed that.
We'll talk about that later.
This course is called Theology and Culture, and it will trace Western intellectual thought from the breakdown of classical Christian understanding through the modern and postmodern alternatives up to the radical trends of critical race theory, gender theory, and what he's calling the new absolutes. One of the core benefits of this course is the insight one will gain into the various strands of ideas that have shaped the current trends aimed at undermining biblical Christianity.
That's important.
This is
so important.
I mean, we're going to have Tom Price on again. We've
On
had
our
him on
Sunday
before.
special coming up this week, this Sunday night.
This
Yep.
guy is loaded for bear
Yep.
intellectually. And you look around and you're thinking to yourself, I want to fight, but I want to fight intelligently,
Right.
biblically. I strongly recommend signing up for Tom Price's class, Theology and Culture, and you can do that at
FightLaughFeast.com.
Yeah, FLFnetwork.com. Just go to the shop, and Theology and Culture is right there. Click on it, sign up. There's still spaces available.
And it's important to remind everybody, like, this is your whole household can participate.
Yeah.
This is not like one person can sign up. It's like, no, your whole household can sign up and hang out
Not
together.
your whole church.
Live with Tom Price.
your whole household.
Yeah, your whole household. I've had that question, I think, already.
One of the biggest mistakes I made on the Founders documentary. I'm sure a lot of people have a few they like to point to.
Don't listen,
but
Jared.
When I went to go film Dr. Glenn Sunshine, I talked for about an hour and a half or so with Dr. Tom Price.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you guys, most of the people who are talking about critical race theory, they're giving you some good parameters, but he gets it. He knows it better than probably anybody else out there. Yeah. Him and Glenn have been phenomenal on this. And my biggest letdown, and probably for the whole film, is I didn't put him in the film. And I should have.
So this class is going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays.
So don't miss this class.
You'll take a break for Thanksgiving and then finish up at the beginning of December and everything. So nice sprint of what we're doing.
And I've had a great time with my Theology of Work class. Doing we just do 1 hour Mondays and Wednesdays. Tom Price is doing 1 hour Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yep.
It's worked great. The Zoom technology works fantastic.
Yep.
Cool little community that sort of forms.
Right.
And it's been great. So sign up.
Well, we have had a lot of new listeners tune in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot happened. We had a conference.
Yeah.
You're running for county commissioner, right?
I'm running for county commissioner.
He's also from Texas.
President Trump retweeted my arrest. So there's just been a lot that's gone on. And so we want to remind you guys, one of the things that we put out, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago?
I think it's been longer than that.
Wild. We
were
put
still
out
on the
a
piano show.
worldview series because a lot of people wanted to know, what makes us tick?
Right.
How are we viewing things? What drives us? And so this audio worldview series lays out the biblical groundwork that shapes cosmology and our biblical grid that processes all things cultural and political. This is a good series to share with your friends, small group discussions, discipleship groups, and more. So you can actually download it. You can buy it on iTunes. You can go to our website and actually buy it on our website, which is the better. We prefer that over iTunes.
It's also available in the club portal if you're a club member.
And if you're a club member, it's free in the club portal and everything. So we've had churches use this for Bible studies. We've had a lot of people use this in their families. It's one of my friends. He drove from Idaho all the way down to California and listened to the whole thing all the way straight through.
Wow.
But he said he really appreciated it and everything. So, we got series like Darwin or episodes like Darwin Ain't Your Daddy, The Face of Your Father, Unbreakable Bond, The Old Dragon, Jesus, Our Dragon Slayer, and Every Square Inch, and much more. It really is.
We did that.
I feel God right there.
We did that? For real?
Yeah. It's kind of funny actually to go back and read through it. And so there's some stuff that we're going to be polishing up over this next year, and we hope to actually get back in and create a worldview series 2.
Table
but
2.
This is a great place to start. With
speaking
us.
of platforms,
I still can't find the share button.
Man!
Somebody share for me, please. Just share for me.
These platforms are getting crazy.
You try.
They're going extreme. I mean, have you seen what Twitter and Facebook have been doing?
No.
So the latest is Facebook took down a post from the Babylon Bee and demonetized them.
Oh man.
Okay. And the offending post is this
I don't know what's going on.
See, it's not just me, is it?
I did it. I found it.
They are making fun of a senator's questioning of Amy
ACB.
Amy Coney Barrett.
Yeah.
And they specifically asked oh man, my computer's froze. Anyways, they're asking the headline says something like she suggests weighing Amy Coney Barrett to see if she weighs the same as a duck. To find out if she's a witch
or not.
To find out if she's a witch or not. Okay. and so this is the story. This is the Babylon Bee. Babylon Bee is
a satire.
A satire.
Good satire.
News site.
That incites violence, apparently.
And so they ran this story. Senator Hirono demands ACB be weighed against the duck to see if she's a witch, alluding to a story, the famous comedy Monty Python.
Never seen it.
The Search for the Holy Grail.
Sorry.
Anyways, it manually gets taken down, and so
first it gets taken down just through their algorithm,
their automatic algorithm.
Right. Yep.
So Seth Dillon is the CEO of.
I was down with him at the Falkirk Center in Miami.
Oh, yeah, just rub that in. Yeah. And he says, so we figured, whatever, the algorithm got it. So they ask for a review. After manually reviewing it, Facebook comes back and says, we stand by our decision.
Right.
We will not reinstate your monetization until this post is either deleted or edited.
Wow.
And Dylan says, we're not going to be editing this. We're not going to be
You want to go to war?
We're not going to take this down.
Exactly.
I'm for real.
So,
I'm for real.
Anyways,
so we got the clip.
Here's the backstory.
Okay,
Here's why this is so funny.
This is mostly for Knox.
Thank you, because I have
The rest of you can listen in.
She looks like one.
She looks like a witch.
Bring her forward.
I'm not a witch. I'm not a witch.
But you are dressed as one.
They dressed me up like this. And this isn't my nose. It's a false one.
Well, we did do the nose.
The nose?
And the hat. But she's a witch.
Did you dress her up like this?
No! Yes. I bet. She has got a wart.
What makes you think she's a witch?
Well, she turned me into a newt.
A newt?
I got better.
Burner!
What? There are ways of telling whether she is a witch.
Hello? What are they telling?
Tell me, what do you do with witches? And what do you burn apart from witches?
More witches!
Good. So, why do witches burn?
Because they're made of wood.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
How do we tell whether she is made of wood?
Build a bridge out of her.
Ah, but can you not also make bridges out of stone?
Oh, yeah.
Does a wood sink in water?
No,
It floats.
It floats. Throw her into the pond.
What also floats in water?
Bread. Apples. Very small rocks. Cider. A great gravy. Cherries.
Mud.
Churches.
Lead.
A duck.
A duck.
Exactly. So, logically,
If she weighs the same as a duck, she's made of wood.
and therefore...
Away!
This is the kind of logic they're teaching in public schools, and which is why
know,
Facebook doesn't find it funny.
Knox, what do you think?
It's scary because that reasoning right there is not it's funny,
Right.
but that's all too real.
Right. I know.
Yeah.
No,
That's not funny anymore.
I know.
That's
Especially
why
since-
Facebook didn't find it funny.
Well, and it's
Like, we think like that.
They're like,
that's not
good,
funny.
That's good logic.
Well, remember when we had Jonathan Lehman on and we were asking how far is too far for somebody to punish John MacArthur? Well, how do we know biblically that Facebook has moved beyond their standard, what they should be doing? What's the standard in which Facebook now, should not be
operating.
taking away, the earnings of
Babylon Bee. And,
how do we know when they've gone too far?
Yeah.
If we don't have a standard in which to judge that by,
Wisdom.
now you're sounding like them.
No, but that's
Therefore-
but the joke really is on Facebook.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The joke is on Facebook because Facebook is basically it has basically descended into joining this kind of mob.
Yes.
This kind of mob that's not thinking rationally or logically at all, and it's all about we want blood.
Well, and it tells you can't trust fact checkers.
Yeah.
No. Like they don't.
No.
There's a context for this.
No.
But I don't think this is an accident either. I think that humor is a good weapon.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Humor is
yeah.
a good weapon because nobody.
And big tech hates this kind of humor.
And when you say
Does
humor
not
that
like
can
it.
be effective,
Babylon Bee is winning.
That's right.
And that's ultimately it's Facebook can't get a joke. They can't take a joke, but it's also because I think they know that Babylon Bee is winning.
Right.
But
because it's not just a joke.
It's not. And that's the thing. And the reason though is because humor only exists in a world that God made.
That's
Yeah.
right.
There's no such, unbelievers can steal our humor, but it has to assume that things are, that have a fixed identity.
Right.
And then humor comes when you sort of play with that
identity.
You play with that identity. But
Right.
if things don't have a fixed nature and a fixed
right.
identity, then there really isn't any such thing as humor. And ultimately, all real humor is actually striking at all atheism
Yeah, that's
and
exactly
relativism.
right. And objectivity. True objectivity.
Exactly. It assumes a standard. Anyways, ACB is scheduled to be confirmed on Monday, you
Yep.
guys.
You think that's going to happen?
They're going to vote.
That's what
Yeah, it sounds like they got the votes.
It sure looks like that.
I'm going to let our audience figure out the segue between the Monty Python witch video and Governor Whitmer
that should
here.
be fun.
So here we go.
How are you going to account for lockdown fatigue, mitigation fatigue? I mean, that is real. We know this is real. In your efforts this time to convince your constituents to abide by the rules?
Yeah, so last night the president talked about lockdowns. We haven't had a stay-home order since late spring, but I know that he never lets the facts get in the way of comments that he's making. Every moment that we are not focused on the fact that there are 220,000 Americans who have died from this virus is good for him. So in that sense, as he incites additional violence against people who are just trying to save one another's lives, it's good for him. And that's why I don't want to talk about him endangering public servants' lives. I want to talk about what he hasn't done, and that's his job. The Trump virus response is the worst in the globe. I mean, in the world, it's the worst. 8 million people have contracted COVID-19, 220,000 dead. We've got people in food pantry lines who never would have imagined that they'd be there, and no light on the horizon because our numbers keep going up. This is a gravely serious moment for all of us. And if you're tired of lockdowns, or you're tired of wearing masks, or you wish you were in church this morning or watching college football, or your kids were in person instruction, it is time for change in this country. And that's why we've got to elect Joe Biden.
Oh, and that's where she went. So keep in mind here. Keep in mind, Michigan has had 166,000 cases.
How do you put
and 7,386 deaths. Okay. Can I say Sweden?
We'll bleep it out.
Will this get banned? Sweden has about 107,000 cases and just shy of 6,000 deaths. And they have the same population. Wow. About 10 million people.
We also missed it. Isn't Michigan going under another lockdown right now?
That's why she's defending herself
she's defending
right now.
Herself
so she's putting herself in another lockdown. And you actually see, if we believe the testing results, Michigan is going back up. The coronavirus is climbing back up in Michigan, and actually is climbing back up in South Dakota. Because
it turns out that we have to get the virus.
We have to get herd immunity.
Please explain that for me.
A bunch of us got to get it.
Huh?
That's how this works.
So what happens when we slow down getting it?
It just puts it off for a little while.
But we still got to get it.
We still got to get it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Do they know that?
Epidemiologists have been saying this from the beginning.
Since we first started back in March, guys.
This is how it works. It just works. It burns its way through the population until you get herd immunity.
That's right.
That's just the deal. You know, her logic. You asked.
I'm still trying to.
Here's how it works.
Okay, yeah, because
if it weighs the same as wood, and you find something else that floats,
it must be a witch.
Then you have to vote for Joe Biden.
So,
oh my goodness!
I'm just trying to figure. So, because I'm thinking, isn't she the one locking down her state again? Right. Not Trump. No. Trump's not locked. She's choosing to lock down her state.
She's creating the breadlines.
And so,
and she actually lays. I mean, she actually said, she says this is his policies, but she's the one doing it.
Right.
He's not really forced any policies on the states.
Like a president, a good president should be doing.
I think Trump whiffed on giving Dr. Fauci the microphone for all those.
Yeah, that was for a setup.
Yeah. That was a whiff, though.
That was. I agree.
But nevertheless, he hasn't been forcing lockdowns like Joe Biden will.
Yeah. Actually, Joe Biden has said that. That's why I'm kind of confused. He's like, if it was up to him,
he's going to do a mask mandate and he's going to do lockdowns.
And so, how does it that if you vote for Joe, you get to go back to church?
And Joe knows he doesn't have the constitutional authority to require states and citizens to wear masks. He knows that. And he was asked that question, and he said, "Well, I'll call the governors and I'll tell them to wear a mask to get their people to wear masks." And he says, and then they asked him, "Well, what if the governors don't listen?" And he said, "Well, I'll call all the mayors."
So here, I said this on Monday's news brief. Right now, everybody is talking about who our president is. Even the governor is talking about the president. But you should be way more concerned about who your mayor, city council is, who your sheriff is, and who your governor is, because your governor is going to say, "I'm not doing that, federal government."
And your state representative, state house representatives,
that's right.
The people that go to your state capital to represent your county, your district. These things matter.
Yes.
And they're the ones they're making massive decisions that are affecting your day-to-day lives.
Yes. And they matter more than who's your president, because they're the ones who get to tell the president no.
Right.
And what we've seen kind of right now is people not understanding their duties and responsibilities in these local levels. No. I mean, it's been amazing to me how much everybody has submitted back to the federal government. Guys, that's exactly the opposite of what America wanted as a nation when we started. We did not want the federal government to be the leaders here.
I'm reading something by Rushdoony right now. This Independent Republic.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. But he makes this point early on and says that that the founding fathers intended for the powerhouse of American government to reside in the county. That's where it was.
That's crazy.
That's what he said. And we read that and we're like, what?
Yeah, that's right.
I thought it was the Supreme Court.
Right.
I thought it was the president. And he said, no, the founding fathers designed for the powerhouse of political power to be resident in,
right. That's right.
Rooted in the county.
That's right.
Where there's local accountability.
That's right.
Where there's local recourse, where you know the people who are making the decisions that affect you and impact you the most. And when we give that up, bad things happen.
Well, it has a domino effect. It has a domino effect not just for the nation, but how you run your house. Yeah. So then all of a sudden, the government gets to tell you how to parent your children. You know, if you don't start thinking local, then all of a sudden, what's wrong, what's punishments in your house is determined by the state.
Right. I was asked.
No.
I was asked in an interview a couple weeks ago. They said, why don't you wear a mask? You wear your seatbelt, right? And I was like, yeah, and the government shouldn't be telling me to wear my seatbelt either. Right. You know, should I wear a seatbelt? It's probably a good idea, but should
that's not their job.
We've let the government intrude in so many areas.
Many areas.
Yeah.
And then they say wear a mask, and we're all like, okay.
Well, because we just capitulated so much. Just think about this. Right now in Washington, you can go over there and you can't drink, eat, or do anything while you're driving. It's against.
No, you can't. There's distracted driving. You get a ticket for having a burger in your hand while you're driving down the road.
But what did that start with? When they could tell you that you can't be on your cell phone. Right. Well, what else could also be an effect to that? Well, eating. Oh, what else? Listening to music.
You know what I think is still legal in Washington is you can write a calligraphy letter while you're driving. I think
you can also smoke crack
while driving.
I know you can do some drugs, but I'm just saying. But all these things really do have a domino effect. Law really does have a domino effect, and when you start letting them monkey around with laws that they have no business to be monkeying around with, there's no limit to where they can go with that.
Positive and negative.
That's right. That's right.
So I think this is actually pretty funny. What's been going on in the hip hop world?
Yeah.
You still got Kanye. You know, Kanye is on the ballot in Idaho.
Is he really?
You can vote for Kanye in Idaho. He actually made the ballot. Yeah. In Idaho, some other states he's made the right.
Well, if you're going to vote for Joe Biden, vote for Kanye. I'm just going to
say. Just going to say. But here we got 50 Cent getting into this. He tweeted out this last week. He said, "What the heck? Vote for Trump. I'm out. New York and the Knicks never win anyways. I don't care if Trump doesn't like black people. 62%." He's referring to taxes.
Tax rate
in New York. Are you out of your bleeping mind? Yeah. And he has a picture of the tax rate in California, New York, New Jersey, New York City, all the way controlled down to New York City. And if Joe Biden comes into to be president, this is what the tax rates are going to look like. California, 62%, New Jersey, 60%, New York State, 58%, New York City, 62%.
What did he say?
50 Cent followed up later, and he said, "I don't want to be 20 Cent, I'm 50 Cent."
This is... It's funny though, but it's not. You got drug dealers guys who used to be drug dealers, guys who understand hustling,
and math,
and basic math, not this Common Core junk.
Right.
And he's like, wait a second, you're taking you're taking more than half of what I'm making.
Yep.
Whoa.
That's unbelievable.
Whoa. And so he's saying he's already making a decision. I'd rather deal with the racist, which is not true, but I'd rather deal with the racist and have my money than deal with somebody who loves black people and takes all my money.
Right.
That's
well, I actually don't even think I don't even know if he believes Trump's a racist.
No, of course he doesn't. Nobody really does.
But he's just saying, I don't care. I don't even care about the point.
If that was your argument.
If that was your argument, I get more money from Trump than I do from Biden.
So what's real racism?
More of my money. Right. He's shown me a little bit more love than Biden will.
Yes. Right? And so but the problem is when guys like 50 Cent can make this clear observation.
Yeah.
You think about, what was his education? Probably not high.
No. But he knows that you don't decide if a woman is a witch by seeing if they weigh the same as a duck.
Because he wasn't discipled by the same people.
That's right.
It's exactly, and the point of this again goes back to the fact that math is real.
That's right.
We were talking about objectivity. The way humor works is because God made the world, because there are things that are real.
That's right.
And you compare things and you you rearrange things and
it's funny.
And it's funny.
Yeah.
But that depends on there being a real objective truth out there.
Right.
And money,
Yeah.
despite all the problems that it can, temptations it can bring,
Yeah.
Money
ain't trans.
It's not trans.
You don't have trans money, do you?
Yeah.
Money can't. It's
Give me one of those.
Message.
Money's not trans.
No, you know, gold, silver,
Is your
silver.
Is your quarter cross-dressing as a nickel?
Gold, hallelujah.
No,
Goods, hallelujah.
It represents real labor. It represents real goods, services, and 50 Cent.
He gets it.
God bless him.
He don't want to be 20 Cent.
No, he doesn't. He wants. He knows that matters.
Yeah.
And it matters more than. And this is why understanding the difference between sins and crimes. We hit this all the time, but it matters so much. Who cares if Trump hates blacks?
Right.
Okay. What is that? Well, he's basically understanding. Look, that's a sin.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's a crime to steal.
Right.
Right?
That's
It's a
right.
crime to steal. And the distinction going on there is that God has given the civil magistrate the job to decide about those things which objectively harm other people.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, there are other things that maybe subjectively do or do spiritually that are sins.
Right.
And churches and parents are equipped by God to deal with those. But
Right.
the state's job is just to be a blindfolded measuring rod. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
And what are the things that they're measuring? Well, they're measuring, like you said, those things that are crimes. Well, how do we know what a crime? What harms people?
Yeah.
Who gets to decide?
Right.
See, in this conversation, we can't just be using these words without definition. And so the world's going to come to it with one form of a definition, and we got to be coming with our Bibles.
Right.
What really is a crime?
And what I want to say to 50 Cent is, according to the Bible,
Right.
God gets to take the most from us, and he requires a tithe, which is only 10%.
Yes. Right.
And in the Bible, it's considered tyranny if civil magistrates take as much as or more than God.
Yes.
Right.
And when you take more than God,
62%.
you're saying you are God. You're saying you're
that's
a
right.
bigger, better
That's
God.
right.
That's idolatry, that's tyranny, and it's theft.
But you can't say that if you're Mark Dever and Jonathan Lehman. Just saying.
What? What?
Wisdom.
They don't. There's just
You're
no
just gonna
objectivity.
stop like that?
No
Come on.
objectivity
Leave it
there.
like
No
that.
matter. Listen, if you're single, get married. If you're married, have kids. And if you have kids, go baptize them. Until Sunday, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Go fight, laugh, and feast. Oh, Gabe, who do we have coming on Sunday?
Oh, we got
Jay-
Dr. Tom Price and Dr. J.
Jay Bhattacharya.
Yeah.
Acharya.
Yep.
This is Cross Politic. Did I do that? Oops.